spark of renewal. The first thing Ethan noticed when he opened his eyes was the smell of coffee drifting through the studio. It wasn't the gentle cafe sort of smell either. It was the sharp, slightly burnt kind that promised more survival than pleasure. Groaning, he buried his face back into the pillow. Maybe if I don't move, the day won't start. But then came the unmistakable sound of Carter banging around in the kitchen like pots and pans were part of his percussion set. "Rise and shine, creative genius," Carter's voice carried like a town crier. "I bring to you the sacred elixir of the gods, caffeine." Ethan considered pretending to be dead. Maybe Carter would leave him in peace. But before he could commit to the plan, Naomi's voice cut in, sharp and amused. "Don't you dare crawl back under those blankets, Ethan Hawthorne. We're not letting you rot in there like a sad burrito." Ethan cracked one eye open just in time to see Naomi marching toward his bedroom door, coffee mug in hand, her fiery hair a wild halo in the sunlight. She kicked the door open without hesitation. And there Ethan was, tangled in a blanket cocoon, hair sticking out at angles that defied gravity. Naomi froze, then burst out laughing. "Oh, my word, you look like a sheep that lost a bar fight with a thunderstorm." "Wow," Ethan croaked, voice gravelly. "Thanks. That's the confidence boost I needed." Carter leaned into the doorway, grinning ear to ear. "Don't move. Hold that pose. Ladies and gentlemen, exhibit piece number 2. The dying caterpillar awakens. I can already hear the critics praising the realism." Naomi doubled over, nearly spilling her coffee. Ethan groaned and yanked the blanket over his head. "I hate you both." "You love us," Carter sing-songed, plopping onto the edge of the bed with dangerous energy. He shoved a steaming mug toward Ethan. "Here, drink, become human." Reluctantly, Ethan sat up and accepted the coffee. The warmth helped, though the note from last night still pulsed in his memory. "Your art is more important than you realize. Don't waste this chance." He tried to push it aside. Tried to focus on Carter humming dramatically like he was orchestrating an opera, and Naomi rolling her eyes with all the weight of a queen. Naomi leaned forward. "All right, today's the day." Ethan sipped cautiously. "The day for what?" "The day we get you out of this dusty cave." She gestured at the cluttered studio, half-covered canvases leaning against the walls like forgotten soldiers. "You've been hiding in here for too long. If you're going to paint for Solterra, you need to feel alive again, and nothing makes you feel alive like the chaos of Virelia." Ethan frowned. "You want me to go outside?" Carter gasped, as though Ethan had suggested treason. "Go outside? Into the sun? Among the people? Madness. Absolute madness." Then he grinned. "I'm in." Ethan rubbed his temples. "I don't know if this is a good idea." Naomi cut him off with the authority of a general. "It's not an idea. It's an order. Now drink your coffee, brush your teeth, and for heaven's sake, fix your hair. You look like you've been electrocuted by your own anxiety." Carter jumped up, clapping his hands. Field trip, artist edition, snacks mandatory." Ethan groaned again, but knew resistance was pointless. With Naomi's determination and Carter's chaos, he was doomed from the moment they barged in. By mid-morning, they were out on the bustling streets of Virelia. The city pulsed with life. Vendors shouting about fresh bread and fabrics, street performers juggling flaming torches, children chasing each other through narrow alleys. Naomi strode confidently ahead, weaving through the crowd like she'd been born in its rhythm. Carter trailed behind, balancing a bag of roasted nuts and occasionally shouting, "Inspiration!" every time he saw something remotely interesting, like a man carrying 12 chickens under one arm. Ethan walked in the middle, clutching his sketch pad like a shield. The noise, the smells, the colors, it was overwhelming, and yet something inside him stirred. "See?" Naomi called over the crowd. "This is where art lives, not locked up in a studio, not hiding in fear. Out here where life is messy and loud and beautiful." Carter popped a nut into his mouth. Also where life smells like questionable meat skewers. But sure, beautiful. Naomi swatted his arm. Focus, Carter. They turned down a side street and stopped in front of the Cracked Kettle, Mama Lyra's legendary eatery. The sign above the door was crooked, the paint faded, but the smell wafting out was heavenly. Fried dough, spiced stew, and something sweet Ethan couldn't quite name. "Mama Lyra!" Carter called, throwing his arms open. The stout woman behind the counter looked up, her apron dusted with flour. She grinned wide. "Carter Vance, still owing me 3 silver and pretending you can cook?" Naomi nearly choked, laughing as Carter sputtered. "That was one time, and the soup was only mildly poisonous." Mama Lyra ignored him and turned to Ethan, her sharp eyes softening. "You're the painter boy, eh? Heard you got into Solterra." Ethan stiffened. Yes, ma'am." She wiped her hands and leaned across the counter. "Don't let those rich fools scare you. They wouldn't know flavor if it slapped them with chili oil. You just paint the way you taste the world." Heat crept up Ethan's neck. "I'll try." Naomi smirked knowingly. "See? Even Mama Lyra believes in you." They grabbed a corner table, plates piled high. Naomi attacked her stew with warrior-like precision. Carter gave an impromptu lecture about how food was actually art, then got shushed by Mama Lyra for being too loud. Ethan sat quietly, watching them, a small smile tugging at his lips. For the first time in weeks, he felt lighter. Not because the fear was gone, it was still there, coiled tight in his chest, but because the laughter, the food, the chaos around him reminded him he wasn't carrying it alone. For a moment, he wasn't the doubting artist. He was just Ethan, and maybe that was enough.